Well, it looks like the psycho lefties are at it again. There's a new video that surfaced. I don't want to say surfaced. It was new at the time. From Tuesday, July 12th, 2022. It was between Senator Hawley and some kind of law professor at Berkeley. And yeah, needless to say, it is ridiculous. Like, it's this woman is so out of touch with reality, and yet she thinks she's making a valid argument against Hawley. And I keep saying Hawley, it sounds like I'm saying H-O-L-L-Y. It's H-A-W-L-E-Y, Hawley. But yeah, man, these people need to be stopped. And she is a professor at Berkeley, so there's a couple questions with that. First, is she a professor, like, for real? Or, you know, she lives in a fake world. Everything that she dreams up is reality. So is she a professor, or does she just say she is, when in reality she's like an assistant or like a student aide or something nonsensical? But B, if she really is a professor, especially after this, Berkeley has a reputation. They should be concerned with upkeeping that instead of upkeeping their freak employees. I'm not saying that they need to fire her, but I am saying that they need to have some kind of a sit-down with her and tell her, like, you better be keeping this nonsense out of your classroom, because these students that come here are paying this school and subsequently you to teach them about law. Whatever the law is that she teaches, all I know is that she's a law professor. So whatever law she teaches, whether it's intro to law or something specific, or a specific field, I mean, she needs to be focusing on that and not trying to interject all her weird identity politics nonsense and all her psycho, unrealistic leftist viewpoints on things onto her class. Because if the school doesn't do anything, and she gets to keep going there, working there, then the students need to do something about it. They need to ask for a withdrawal from the class and a refund from that class, and possibly even drop out of the school. Because if they're hiring her or allowing her to teach, then all she's going to do, I mean, all that school's going to do is have other teachers like that as well. So you're not going to escape it. Oh, you get out of this one's class. Well, next semester, I got a new freak. Cool. Anyways, let's just get into the video so you can see exactly what I'm talking about, and we can break it down at the same motherfucking time. Alright, so this is where it's going to be at. It's going to be a totally sane, normal, reasonable, rational, realistic guy talking with an absolute clown. Somebody who's just dreaming things up and thinking it's real. So, let's get into it.
Before, I want to visit with you, Ms. Maskey, but before I do, I just want to clear one thing up. Professor Bridges, you said several times, you've used a phrase, I want to make sure I understand what you mean by it. You've referred to people with a capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women?
All right, super basic question right there, no? People who have a capacity to get pregnant, would that be women? Easy answer. Yes. That's the only option ever of all time. Doesn't matter what species you are, doesn't matter what race you are, doesn't matter what anything you are. As far as Earth is concerned, the capacity for getting pregnant has always been women. Not men, not, I don't know, there's no other option. But, yeah. We have this freak now, who's a law professor, apparently, who, you know, is going to go to bat and really try hard to argue this point and try to spin it as if he's the idiot for thinking that somehow it's not just women that I mean, for not going along with her idea that not just women can get pregnant. So ready? Let's get into this nonsense. This will be good.
Many women, cis women, have the capacity for pregnancy. Many cis women do not have the capacity for pregnancy. There are also trans men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy.
So this isn't really a women.
Oop, we went a little too far. Anyhow, so let's break that down. We're going to start with the back half. She said something about non-binary people and trans men. So, starting with the trans men. First off, that's not a real thing, okay? A trans man is a woman. Trans man wasn't a thing until about a year ago anyways, so, like, if you're a man and you're getting pregnant, well, obviously you're a woman. So a trans man being able to get pregnant is not a man. Men have never been able to get pregnant, ever. I mean, that's part of the whole joke that Disney did back in the day when he said the first man to get pregnant will own Disney. Yeah, he meant an actual man. Nowadays, these morons will try to spin it. Oh, I'm a man. I'm pregnant. No, you're not a man. You're a woman who has mental health issues and needs to see a psychologist and get serious help. But instead, for some reason, we're in a society that wants to embrace that and act like it's such a good thing that you are living in denial of reality and fight tooth and nail to speak against it. And then she says there's non-binary people. Okay, non-binary is absolutely super insane. Being trans is fake and insane, but non-binary is just a whole other level of insanity. Being non-binary is not a real thing at all. Jeez, at least the people that are trans just want to be the other thing. I don't want to be a woman, I want to be a guy. Or I don't want to be a guy, I want to be a woman. Non-binary people are like, I'm neither. Really? That's literally not possible. Every single living thing, well, for the most part, maybe not bacteria and stuff, but every single living thing that we can see has a gender. Geez, even plants. You might not be able to recognize it offhand, but, you know, there is, like, the male and the female side of thing. That's how pollination happens, you know, blowing it off. And, like, isn't the things that pollinate, like, the male, and then the female is whatever gets pollinated? Like, non-binary is something, like, these morons just woke up one day, and they're like, you know what? I'm non-binary. And anybody can do it. So at least, like, when you say trans blah, blah, you know what the person really is. Oh, I'm a trans man. Oh, so you're actually a woman. You just don't want to say that anymore. When somebody says they're non-binary, you know, on the surface, you don't even know what they are. Until you maybe see them, oh, you're a guy, you're just an idiot, or oh, you're a woman, you're just an idiot. It seems like more often than not, though, at least from what I've seen, it's women that say this nonsense. I don't understand why, but TikTok is where you can see a lot of them, and it seems to more often be women. There is a few guys, but it seems to be more of a girl thing. But anyways, super fake, not a thing at all. You can't be neither. The only way you could be neither is if you had, like, some kind of extreme, like, medical phenomena happen where you literally had neither. Basically like an opposite of a hermaphrodite. A hermaphrodite has both, so you'd have to have some kind of extreme situation where you have neither, and then you could say that you're neither. I am non-binary because I'm neither. Oh, okay, that's weird, but it's true. I mean, I guess technically I brought up hermaphrodite. That would be non-binary too, because, well, you got both. So you're not really male or female. Although one does preside stronger over the other. I mean, they say Jamie Lee Curtis was a hermaphrodite, is a hermaphrodite, I don't know, and she's a woman, so, I mean, that took over stronger than the male side. But anyways, yes, non-binary, super fake thing. So, she says non-binary people can get pregnant. Yeah, well, if a non-binary person gets pregnant, that means it's a woman. A woman got pregnant. It doesn't matter what kind of fake title you give yourself. You're still a female, you're still a woman, you're still a girl. When you die, if you don't get cremated and you're buried, in 1,000 years, if you happen to get buried up and paleontologists were studying you, they would know that you were a woman, not a non-binary thing. And then she said in the beginning part, something about, yes, some cis women. You don't need to put the stupid cis, it's just called women. Seriously. Some women can get pregnant and some can't. Now, I'm imagining in her context, you know, when she says some women can't get pregnant, she's you know, trying to be a leftist shill again, and she's talking about trans women who are actually men, which, duh, they can't get pregnant. But, in a reality sense, she does have a point. Some women can't get pregnant. They just can't. It's kind of like some, you know, you're infertile, just like some guys can be sterile. Yeah, some guys are sterile, some women are infertile. So yeah, you actually do have a point, accidentally. I mean, because that wasn't her point, but there still is a point in there. So anyways, carrying on. This only gets better.
It's rights issue.
We can recognize that this impacts women while also recognizing that it impacts other groups. Those things are not mutually exclusive, Senator Hawley.
Oh, so I had paused it a little bit too late. So he said that, oh, so we're not treating this as a women's rights issue. I think they're talking about abortion or something. So he's saying we're not treating this as a women's rights issue then, and she says, no, we can treat it as a women's rights issue while also recognizing other whatever nonsense she said, doesn't really matter. But at the end of the day,
yeah, Senator Hawley has a point. Clearly, this isn't about women's rights. If you're worried about cis people and trans people, you know, a trans woman who is a man pretending to be a woman every day, or the opposite way, a trans woman, a man pretending to be a woman. Oh, I can't get pregnant. Yeah, because you got a dick, stupid. Of course you can't get pregnant. But yeah, I mean, he's got a point. It's not about women's health, and it's about your... At this point, I mean, it's supposed to be about women's health, but this dumb woman right here, whatever her name is, I really don't care. She is bringing it up to be more of a political ideology debate instead of what it's supposed to be, which is a women's debate. And that's what Hawley is trying to do, is just call her out. Like, hey, moron, what are we talking about here? I thought this was about direction A, but you're turning it into direction B for no reason. Also... I keep saying she and this woman, which I'm going to keep because she obviously is a she. But with her stupid ideology, you know, it's almost like, what? Oh, am I assuming your gender? All that dumb nonsense they love to spew. Anyways, continuing on. I think Hawley is speaking now, so we'll have some intelligence briefly until she chimes in.
Your view is that the core of this right then is about what?
So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing them.
Wow, you're saying that I'm opening up people to violence by asking whether or not women are the folks who can have pregnancies?
So
I just wanted to get that clip in there too. I was going to stop and it's like, I'll let him speak. So yeah, here is the stereotypical leftist liberal, my viewpoints, I mean, my views are insane and I can't back them up, so I'm going to attack you because you don't just quickly agree with me and just be quiet and just go along with the stuff I'm saying. You're giving me some resistance, so So here she goes. They've been talking for how long, how far are we in? Oh, minute 3 now. Well, they haven't even been talking that long. There's a more abbreviated version of this video where I think we're at only like the 20-second mark at this point. So let's just say they've been talking for 30 seconds. Them two have only been talking for 30 seconds, and now she is assuming stuff about him. She literally knows nothing about him. She's gleaned nothing from him. He's asked her 3 questions, and they've talked for 30 seconds. And yet her conclusion is, oh, you're transphobic. She's coming up with things about him. She doesn't know what he thinks. Maybe his whole, maybe oddly enough, his whole entire family is trans. All the women want to be men and all the men want to be women. But yet, she's just going to jump to conclusions. Oh, you're transphobic. How? What are you getting that from? First off, he never said anything of that sort. I mean, obviously, nobody's going to come out and be like, but before we get started, I'm transphobic. But still, what I am saying is he didn't even say anything like that. He's been asking her very general, I was going to say vague, very general, basic questions about biology, essentially. That's what you can break it down to. He's asked her, what do you mean by people who can get pregnant? That's all. What's transphobic about that? He's clarifying her stance. Then he says, oh, so this isn't about women? He's saying it in the traditional sense of what a woman is and always will be. And then he asks, okay, so what was his last question? It was something like, so what are you trying to talk about here? And, somehow he's transphobic now. Like, okay. That is such a reach of a conclusion, especially considering how the conversation started. He's just asking you basic questions, and all of a sudden you take this gigantic leap because you can't stand somebody that wants to bring you to reality. You just want... This is probably how her classroom goes. She just spews all kinds of nonsense, and because the students are, you know, her students, they kind of have to just go with whatever she says, because otherwise then she can stop the class, maybe kick the student out. I mean, I don't know. I don't think college works like that. It's more a high school thing. I say I don't think. I've been to college. I graduated 3 times, but I don't remember offhand how college went. Last time I was actually in a college was 2011, and then I did online college, so that was in my bedroom by myself. But still, I'm just saying, she has more power there. Here, she's got no power. She's at a Senate hearing. They have the power. She's the guest. So, I don't have power, so now I'm just going to call you transphobic. The other thing is, she's saying, you not recognizing trans people is inciting violence? How is that inciting? This guy is being pretty calm and level-headed and casual and just asking questions. There was nothing about what he's done that's going to incite violence. And that's why I let him say his part, because even he's like, what are you talking about? I'm inciting violence because I'm asking you questions about women? Like, okay. Anyhow.
I want to note that 1 out of 5 transgender persons have attempted suicide. So I think it's important
because of my line of questioning? So we can't talk about it?
Because denying that trans people exist and pretending not to know that they exist.
I'm denying that trans.
I'm going to stop it right there. So she said 1 out of 5 trans people have attempted suicide. And it's because, you know, then he says, okay, because she's trying to bring that up as a point. So he uses that against her. Oh, because whatever he said that he said. And she's like, no, because people deny that they exist and don't acknowledge them. Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, first off, you know why 1 in 5 trans people attempt suicide? It's because they have mental health issues. That's why they think this way, and that's why they think that, oh, I'm a woman trapped in a man's body. Yet you clearly have issues. And for some reason, our society is devolving into a situation where instead of getting those people the help they need, we congratulate it. They have parties. Oh, I'm having a gender reveal party. You're 32. I know your gender. You're a guy, you idiot. No, I'm a woman. And then everyone's, oh, congratulations. Like, what? So anyways, yeah. And obviously, people that have mental health issues, they do crazy things. You know, they do a school shooting, or they try to commit suicide because they're unstable. You know, a normal, healthy mind in any being is to preserve your life. So clearly, when somebody's trying to kill themselves, there's a problem. It's not a normal, healthy mind. It's a busted mind that needs help. But nope. Oh, you're trans? Congratulations. The second thing is that these trans people always end up having regrets. You know, it's kind of like what I always say about college. I feel like college is such propaganda, and that all it is, now that I've been and I'm an adult and stuff, now I see it, it's just a business. And it's customers are students, so it needs to try as hard as it can to get customers, that way then it can remain in business and make money. And so they fill you up with all this propaganda about how you need to go to college and this and that. And yeah, that's basically what the left is now doing with being trans. They don't want people to just be normal. It's like this other thing that I saw, you know, it's talking about the left and how insane they are. And it's like, oh, the left, if you're a white male, the left hates you unless you're gay. If you're black, the left loves you unless you're conservative. You know, and all these weird stipulations they have. They have 55 quintillion rules for themselves, and they can't just be happy with anything, just let it be normal. Nope, they gotta come up with some dumb stipulation for everything. And then the even more psychotic part is they're just like dog eat dog on each other. You know, you could be the most chillest leftist, like, you could be, what's his name? The guy that played Captain America, Chris, Evans. He is such a leftist shill. Like, man, he was cool as Captain America, but, like, I don't like him anymore. He is just too much of a little, little B-word, just to try to keep it relatively clean here. And it's all because of his leftist shilling. But still, one day he could do something that the leftist, the mob, leftist mob doesn't like, and then they'll turn on him and shun him. Oh my God, Chris Evans is so horrible. He retweeted this, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, man, you guys don't even, like, you don't even stick to your own type, your own people, your own psychos. But anyways, yeah, so then people get confused. Maybe if you have a weak mind or a slightly mentally ill mind, and then you're like, oh, okay, I should try to be trans because that's the cool thing to do. And then you go through with the surgery, and then you're like, oh, God, I don't want to be like this anymore. And then you have regrets, and then you're upset about what happened. Either you just don't want to be, you know, if you're a male, you don't want to be female, you want to be male again, but now you cut your dick off, and you're like, oh, man. Or you went through some surgeries and had a lot of complications. I mean, I hear a woman to male surgery, you know, to get a dick, I hear that's a lot of work and highly risky. And like the Matt Walsh documentary, What is a Woman, he has a trans man that he talks to, and she, because that's what she is, I mean he is, she had surgery. They cut off like a chunk of your arm to make the dick with. And now there's a big scar, and she was talking to him about the regrets that she has from doing this, and, you know, this big scar that she's got now, and Yeah, so it's all this nonsense that happens, and that's why 1 in 5 trans people attempt to commit suicide. It has nothing to do with people not acknowledging them or blah blah blahing them. And that's another stupid point that she has, because nowadays with all this leftist nonsense going on, they are acknowledged in all this, like, which they should be, but not in the way that they are. They should be in the sense of with a psychologist getting help. But instead, it's, you know, the media is just propping them up and everything. Oh, congratulations! And it's like, no, you're giving them the wrong attention. They need attention, but they need professional attention, not societal attention. But yeah, so that argument she put there is so dumb, and it's like, did you even research anything, or are you just vomiting words just because you think it makes you, I don't know, have an argument against this guy who clearly, A, is a normal person, B, knows what he's talking about, and C, actually is pretty smart. From what I understand, I think he graduated from Harvard. He's got a Harvard law degree, and, yeah, this moron is like, I know we're too early into this conversation, but as it goes on, like, she basically is just talking down to him, like he's stupid and doesn't know anything, and it's like, bro, I know you might work at Berkeley, but, like, homeboy over here went to Harvard, which is, like, pretty much the most pristine college besides Yale. Yale and Harvard are the top two. So, like, don't be trying to put yourself on some kind of pedestal. You clearly have mental health issues anyways, which instead of sitting here yelling at some senator trying to preach your nonsense to him, you should be booking appointments with therapists to help you through your problems. But anyways, carrying on.
People exist by asking you if you're talking about women having pregnancies.
Do you believe that men can get pregnant?
No, I don't think women can get pregnant.
So you are denying that trans people exist?
And that leads to violence?
Yeah, so, again, I almost paused it too early. So yeah, she asked him, do you believe that men can get pregnant? And he, obviously, as any rational person would say, says no, because they can't. You can't. You don't have the proper equipment, you know, and, you know, you don't, stumbling over myself thinking of too many ideas at the same time. You don't have the proper internal equipment. You know, you don't have uteruses, you don't have eggs, you don't have any of that. So yeah, a man can't get pregnant. But of course, see, you're discrediting the existence of trans people. My point exactly. Thank you. But it's like, okay, moron. He's not necessary. Well, how do I put this? Even if he is discrediting them, the point here is that, you know, a trans man is still a woman. That's why you can get pregnant. It's not a man. You know, that, like, so his answer is still valid. That's the other thing, too. She asked, do you think men can get pregnant? Men. That's a traditional, normal sense of that word. And he said no. Yeah, they can't. He's right. But then she starts saying, you're not acknowledging the existence of trans people. Well, you didn't say trans men. That's completely different. Trans men aren't men. They are women, whether you want to accept that or not. A real man doesn't have to have a prefix to describe him. He's just a man. So, yeah. And then, look, she's trying to change the rules here. She says, do you believe men can get pregnant? Oh, you're discrediting the existence of trans people. Well, you didn't say anything about trans man. Which even then, even if she did say that, what he could have said was, oh, you mean a biological woman? Yes, I believe she could get pregnant. And then she'd still, oh my god, you don't even want to acknowledge that that person would be a man in this case. And then, like, she'd be starting a whole argument over, like, a fake person. A hypothetical person that they're making up right now. But anyways, let's carry on.
Is this how you run your classroom? Are students allowed to question you?
Absolutely.
Or are they also treated like this? Where
No,
they're told that they're opening up people to violence?
We have a good time in my class. You should join.
Oh, I bet.
You might learn a lot.
Wow, I would learn a lot. I've learned a lot just in this exchange.
Absolutely.
Extraordinary.
Yep.
Yeah, so his question, actually, I said that earlier. He says, is this how you run your classrooms? And she's like, no, I let people talk. Yeah, okay. You can't let a senator talk right now in a hearing that they are having, like, how do I put this? They're like, he's like a judge, so to speak, right now, and she is the perp, and she doesn't even let him speak. You think she's letting anybody in her class speak? No, if she's got like a conservative in there, she's probably kicking them out. She's not listening to what they have to say. She doesn't care what they have to say because she thinks they're wrong. Oh, you believe that men are men and women are women? Oh, you're an a-hole. Get out of my class. And then she says you should join my class, you might learn, you would learn something. He goes along just making fun of her. But it's like, no, you actually wouldn't learn anything if you joined her class. You know why? Well, actually, no, you would. But all you would learn is a ton about her. And that's it. I guarantee her class is just all about her politics and her ideological nonsense and all that. You wouldn't actually learn anything about the subject that you were there to learn about. You'd learn all about her nonsense. Kind of reminds me of a teacher that I had in college. He wasn't a political moron like her. He just liked to tell stories about his life all the time instead of actually teaching us. I don't even know what the class was supposed to be, because that's all he ever did. He just told the stories about, like, going out fishing with his wife and kids, or camping trips they had, or vacations, and yeah, the stories were interesting, but, like, that's not what we were there for. So anyways, I feel like, or I bet, or I guarantee, likewise, she probably does the same exact thing with her class. Talks about all our stupid ideological nonsense and makes everybody sit there and listen to her spew disinformation. There you go, their favorite word. Only used accurately in this sense. So, yeah, you wouldn't learn anything. You'd just learn about how terrible of an individual she is, and you would learn about how badly she needs some professional help. You know, the other thing I was thinking, too, obviously you can't see here while looking at him, but, like, in the very, very beginning when I first started this video, you saw the spans of the room. You know, there's a lot of, I don't know what they are in the background, spectators maybe, and then there's all the senators on the bench. There's a lot of people in that room, and it's so psychotic and insane how she's just talking about all this stuff like it's totally normal, and yeah, I'm saying it how it is, yeah, and treating him like he's in the wrong with all these other people. It's like, how are you not embarrassed to be saying these things that you're saying? How are you not embarrassed that you have these thoughts even just popping in your head, never mind saying them? Like, jeez. I would feel embarrassed just saying real stuff like Hawley says. Not because I'd be worried about leftists. I mean, I would just be, like, uptight and, like, you know what I mean? Yes, only women can get pregnant. And I'd just be so weird and uptight for no reason at all. No reason. That's just how I would be. And you got her over here spewing all this crazy psychotic crap that just grows in her own head. And, oh, yeah, this is real. This makes sense. Yeah, men can get pregnant. Oh, my God, you don't believe a man can get pregnant? What is wrong with you? Like, no, what's wrong with you? The other thing, so this video is a little bit different than the other videos that I found. Like I said, I found one that was very short. This one's like 6 minutes long. I don't know how far to go into this. But this one at this point, I mean, the other video that I saw at this point was done right here. But, there's a couple things about her. One is, this has nothing to do with anything, but her teeth are kind of weird. I mean, she's just an idiot, so I figure we can make fun of it. But yeah, she's got some gross teeth. I don't know what's going on. She's either got like a weird retainer thing going on, or she just, I don't know, just has bad teeth. But they look weird when you see them up close. But the second thing is, that's more serious, is, so she's supposed to be a law professor. Like, that's a pretty good position to begin with. And you're a professor, and at Berkeley, which is a, you know, esteemed enough college. And it's like, she has 2 nose piercings. She has the bowl one, and then she has one of the nostrils pierced. And it's just like, are you serious right now? Like, that's how do I put this? So I have my ears pierced, but like at work I never wear my earrings because I feel like it's unprofessional. I don't wear those. I don't wear any bracelets. I don't wear any of my necklaces. I don't even wear like a baseball cap to work and then take it off while I'm there or anything. I go to work strictly professional. I dress business casual for work, and that's how I keep it. Professional. And yet here you got this one who's got 2 nose piercings, who even at a Senate hearing still can't take them out. Still just has them in, looking super ridiculous and unprofessional. Like, it just adds to her insanity. It's like, you know, they always say, like, don't judge people or whatever right away, but just looking at her, you could already tell. She's got 2 nose piercings, and, again, the angle on this is off, but she has such psycho bug eyes. Like, you can tell she's a lunatic because she's got those big bulging eyes that never blink, and she's always rapidly looking around. And it's like, oh my God, you would have these weird ideologies. You literally are a psycho. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, like, how unprofessional do you have to be? Here you are worried about your stupid nonsensical ideologies, but you can't even put an ounce of professionalism into yourself. Like, seriously? Anyways, how else does this go on?
Matsky, let me ask you something. So, you provide health care to women free of charge, right? Is that right? You've
Absolutely.
You've done this for many years.
Oh, okay. So, so is that how the whole interaction with that psycho teacher went? Was it literally just a minute and a half with her and her just being a freak and trying to paint him as if he's the bad guy, and then he just gave up on her because he was like, I'm not dealing with this anymore. I didn't realize that's it. Wow. So that's why the other clip I saw ends where it ends, because that's literally it, I guess. Wow. Anyways, yeah. So the psycho leftists strike again. Ugh. It's always good though, because, you know, when this happens, you always have people that are reasonable that you know, shut them right down. Granted, they think they're doing something and that they're not being shut down, but they are. I mean, well, check this out. Oh, dang it, you can't see it. I forgot. This is actually on his account, too. Well, the video that I saw that was uploaded by NBC, that one had, at the time, it had, oh man, what was it? Like 32,000 dislikes with like 342 likes. And I wasn't sure what that dislike to like ratio meant. I didn't know if it was people just disliking Hawley being realistic and they were like pro this psycho woman, or if they were disliking it because of that psycho woman, like, ugh, I can't believe anybody would think this way. And it turns out it was option 2, because I started reading the comments, and like all the comments were just like against her and against NBC, because the way that they titled it almost made it, well, the way that they titled it painted it out like Hawley was in the wrong. Like, what did they say? Law professor has to, no, what was it? I don't know. It's something along the lines of like law professor has to inform senator about trans people or something, or calls him out on his transphobia, something like that. It's kind of painting it like she's the hero and he's the zero. So a lot of people were saying that too, like, oh, NBC for the win again on the title, but it was sarcastic, like they didn't literally mean that. So I was like, okay, good. These people are disliking it because of how ridiculous it is. Kind of like anytime there's a Biden speech, it's just disliked because he's a moron who lies all the time and is a loser and nobody likes him. Anyways, yeah, so that's all I got. If you're a woman, it's kind of sad for you, because right now we live in a world where these leftist losers don't even want to properly acknowledge you. They want to bundle you in with men who pretend to be women, or they want to bundle you in with people that claim to be neither. Which I don't know how that's fair to either of us, you guys or men, when it's somebody who's neither. But yeah, the left is just psycho. The worst part is, too, the left is such a minority. The left is only, what, 10% of the population, if not less? It's like, how does such a small fraction have such a big voice on everything? But it's because everything wants to be leftist leaning. And why? I don't understand. But all the media outlets, like, you know, the late night talk shows. Look at Colbert. Oh, Colbert is such an idiot. He's such a massive leftist shill. And unfortunately, so is Seth Meyers. He was cool on SNL, but then he got his own show and he just went super downhill and into that psycho lifestyle. Anyways, yeah, so then SNL is leftist leaning. You know, a lot of the big media outlets, you know, NBC, MSNBC, CNN, those are all leftist. There's just so much outlets that support us. Even stupid organizations like Disney. Disney's trying to do all their dumb woke nonsense now. So it's like, well, I guess that company is something I'm not going to be bothering with anymore, because now they're not focused on the entertainment like they used to be. They're focused on their stupid politics and trying to sneak it into their movies. Like they did with Thor, like they did with Lightyear, like they plan on doing with everything else. Even Star Wars, the Kenobi show. They made it so it was like, ooh, all these strong women leads, and all the men were like bumbling idiots. And it's like, yep, okay. That's how this would go. So yeah. Anyways, it's just because of the agenda. It's stupid. But that's why it's got the biggest voice, because it's everywhere. Some reason, I don't know why, but that side is being so pushed. Why all these people agree to it? The thing is, too, is these people aren't really like that. Like, look at Jimmy Kimmel. He's one of the biggest leftist shills, too. But you know he wasn't always. Think about his Mantown days. That wasn't going to be a leftist. Somebody who would be doing something ridiculous like that is not a leftist. Because nowadays they'd be like, oh my god, that's so disrespectful and blah, blah, blah. But nope, so he can get his own show. He's, okay, yeah, I'll follow into this nonsense. Yes, I will let you control me and tell me what I'm supposed to say and do and think. It's ridiculous. Anyhow, that's all I got for this time. So until whatever comes next, I said see ya.